Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. I know this is very uncommon of me to put out 3 videos in 3 days in a row, but as I mentioned in my video the other day, I'm on a vacation from work, so I've got a lot of free time right now, and I really wanted to concentrate on getting my channel back into the swing of uploading videos onto a somewhat regular basis, so that's what I'm doing. So, about a month ago, I had made a cherry dump cake, and I figured I would do another dessert recipe for you, and that is chocolate eclair cake. Now, if you have never heard of this or had it, I highly recommend that after this video, you really consider making it. It is one of the best desserts that I personally have ever eaten. It's very light, so if you don't like heavy desserts or super rich desserts, this would probably be one maybe to consider. Also, it is extremely easy to make. I don't like things that take a whole lot of steps and a whole lot of ingredients, because then it's just a whole lot to remember. But this really only has about 4 or 5 ingredients, and it doesn't really take a whole lot of time. Actually, most of the time spent for this is keeping it in the refrigerator to let it set and cool down. But anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you how to make chocolate eclair cake. Alright, so I'm going to set up this video in the exact same way that I did when I made the cherry dump cake. Now, first I'm going to show you the ingredients it takes to make the chocolate eclair cake, and then I'll take you step by step and show you how it's actually made and put together. So, the things you're going to need for it are graham crackers, 2 boxes of vanilla pudding mix, 1 container of chocolate cake frosting, 1 8-ounce tub of Cool Whip or whatever brand you prefer, and preferably a 9x13 pan. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this over to the side here, and we're going to go ahead and make the pudding. So first, let me open this here. I don't know if they still make it, but does anybody remember when they made pudding in a can? I remember my mom getting tapioca pudding in the can, and it was so good. That and butterscotch. Oh. So we're going to take these 2 packets of vanilla pudding mix and dump them in the mixing bowl. And yes, you do need 2 of these for this to come out right, or else you're not going to have enough mixture. And to this, because I can never remember, we need 2 cups of milk per box. So 2 cups per box. So we're going to go ahead and fill this up to the 2-cup line. One. And 2. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and mix up this pudding here. Try not to splash everywhere. I have a, I don't want to say really hard time, but I have a little bit of difficulty sometimes trying to keep all this in the bowl. But the reason I am making this, and I haven't made this in a little while, is because our next door neighbor is actually moving this week. He lived next door when we moved into our house, and due to some unforsaken, however you want to say it, unfortunate circumstances, he is moving out, which is unfortunate because he's been a very good neighbor, he's a very good friend, and I mean, he'll still be our friend. You know, just because he's moving doesn't mean that'll change. But anyway, I figured I would make this for him and his 2 daughters, because when I made it the last time, they seemed to really like it. So I figured it'd be a nice thing for them to have right before they move. And as I said before, this is something really easy to make. So if, like, maybe you're getting company at the very last moment, this is something you could go out and very cheaply and very quickly put together. Now, I should say it's not very quick, because you're technically supposed to, once you have all this in the 9x13 pan, it's supposed to be in the refrigerator for, the recipe said 8 to 12 hours in the refrigerator to let it set. I've never had it in the refrigerator for 12 hours. In fact, I don't even think I've ever had it in the refrigerator for 8 hours, unless I happened to make it the night before I needed it, and then it would be in the refrigerator for at least that long. But I think I think I've had this in the refrigerator for about maybe 4 to 5 hours, and then it was okay. You know, it doesn't need to harden or anything like that, but it does need to have a little bit of time to set. So I would definitely recommend making the pudding mix first, because when you get to assembling the Eclair cake, excuse me, you're going to want to have this ready to go. So I think I'm about the consistency that I want. I can stir it a little quicker now that it's not completely liquefied with the milk. Oh, and there, I don't know if you just seen that, but it just went on the counter. I told you I have a hard time keeping this in here. We need like a deeper mix bowl, I think, would be somewhat of a solution. Alright, so make sure I got all the mix mixed in, all the powder mixed from the pudding, and it looks like it did. Alright, so I'm going to set that off to the side there. Let me get something to wipe up that pudding. At least it didn't get on the camera. Alright. So, I've got my 9x13 just throwaway pan here. I got it for $1.99 from Save-A-Lot. So, we're going to go ahead and open up these graham crackers here. And I always feel like whenever I open up graham crackers, the first 1 or 2 always seem to break apart. If I can get them open. Here we go. Well, maybe. Alright. So, the first thing you want to do is you want to make a layer, just one layer, of graham cracker along the bottom of the pan. Sometimes you do have to break the crackers in half for it to work. It all depends. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So, let me just move this camera here real quick just to show you what it looks like. So as you can see, it's just one layer of graham cracker. Okay. Let's see if I can, there we go. Alright, then we're going to take this pudding mix here, I'm going to stir it a little bit just so it doesn't start to settle. You want to dump half of the pudding mix on top of the first layer of graham cracker. So, let me go ahead and do that. Let me just say something here. I kind of just messed this up. I completely forgot about the Cool Whip part. The Cool Whip is supposed to be mixed in with the pudding as well. So before you dump the pudding into the pan on top of the graham crackers, mix the Cool Whip into the pudding as well. So let's go ahead and do that real quick before I dump any more into this pan. I cannot believe I forgot that part. So go ahead and mix this in there. I don't think it's too late because I noticed it right as I just started putting the pudding on there. And it doesn't take very long to mix this together. I guess that's what I get for kind of rushing this. And the reason I'm kind of rushing this is because our neighbor said he thinks he's going to be out by tomorrow, Sunday, and I would like to give this to him today because I don't know if I'm going to catch him tomorrow or not. So, all right. Got that. All right. Cool Whip's in the pudding now. So, don't make the mistake I did and not put the Cool Whip in with the pudding. So now we're going to dump this in here. Yeah, that looks more like it. That looks a lot better. Alright. Then we're just going to go ahead and spread it on top here of the graham cracker, covering all of it, even the corners. Just kind of a nice smooth layer. Alright. Now we're going to, Now we are going to do a second layer of graham cracker. So, do this here, like that. And I'm going to have to open another package of these. By the way, if you watched my video yesterday called part of my Exploring YouTube series, I did a video on a lady named Phyllis Stokes. And I got a nice surprise this morning when I woke up. And that is that she commented on the video. She said that she enjoyed it and thought it was a very nice thing for me to do. Which I was very surprised that she commented on it and watched it. But that's great. I'm super excited about that. So, now that we got our second layer of graham cracker here, move this out of the way, we're going to dump the rest of the filling on top of the graham cracker, like that. Hang on just one second. My rubber spatula was stuck there. Get this in here. Okay. Set that off to the side. Put this here like this. smooth it all out, like so. Now, once you get done doing this, you'll want to rinse off your rubber spatula or whatever instrument you're going to use to smooth the mixture out, because you're going to end up melting this and putting it on the top. So now I'm going to do the last layer of graham cracker here on the top of the mix. And it looks like 2 packages of the graham cracker were just enough for that. So that works out good. Alright, so once you have all 3 layers of the graham crackers in and both of your layers of the pudding and Cool Whip mix, the last step is to take the container of chocolate frosting, and you're going to put it in a microwavable bowl. And you want to put it in the microwave for exactly 1 minute. So let me put this in here. And yes, you're gonna end up using the entire container of frosting, so you know it may look like a lot, but you want to use the whole thing, especially since it's getting melted, because you want it to cover the entire top of this. Now, anytime I've ever made this and people have had it, I haven't had any complaints. Everybody's loved it. So, hopefully if you make it, whoever you're making it for, or for yourself, they'll love it, or you'll love it too. So I'm going to put this in the microwave for 1 minute. Let that melt. I'm going to rinse off my spatula. Alrighty. So our chocolate is completely melted, as you can see there, and it's not super hot, so you can take it right out of the microwave. It's not going to burn your hands or anything like that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to pour it right on top of here and then try to just even it out as best as possible. So here we go. It smells really good. Now, the reason that I washed the rubber spatula off after using it to get the frosting out of the frosting container that it came in from the store, because I'm sure some people are thinking, well, you're going to use it to, you know, for the frosting again, so why are you even, you know, cleaning it off or rinsing it off or whatever? Well, it's because out of the container it's got the dry, thick frosting. And if that was still on the spatula when I'm trying to smooth out the melted frosting, I don't want it to pull on the graham crackers and mess those all up, or, you know, mess up the pudding and whipped cream mixture. So that's why I rinse it off. So that's it to that. And then I'm going to sit it in the refrigerator. And I would say at the least amount of time, let it sit in the refrigerator for about 4 to 5 hours at the least. At the most, I would say 8 hours. But as I said earlier, you could also, if you wanted to, make it the night before an event or something like that, and you'll be fine as long as it is in the refrigerator as soon as you're finished with this last step. Alright, so that is in the refrigerator now, and it's going to stay there until I see them and I'm able to give it to them. And as I said before, anybody who has ever tried this cake absolutely loves it. I think because, one, it's very light. It's not a thick dessert. I know normally when you think of cake frosting, you think of, you know, the thick frosting and how rich it is and stuff like that. And it's, to me, it's not like that at all. And I think that's why people like it, is because it's light. And two, especially somebody who is the one making it, it's pretty quick to do. I mean, if I wasn't explaining everything that I was doing, normally it would take me probably about, at the most, I would say 10 minutes to put it all together. And as I said earlier, most of the work is done by the refrigerator because that's where it has to spend the most time to cool and set. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I will put the ingredients that you need and the amount of each and the steps down below in the description. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.